Lulu, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me, Aaron. How are you?
I'm really well. Well, let's of course start with the nominations before your eviction. You
Yeah.
had Farmer Dave, yourself, and Sam in the firing line. Now, Dave is a very popular in the house, and Sam is withdrew and has a bit of an alliance as well. How was your confidence level knowing you were up against Sam and Dave?
Well, when I was going up against Sam and Dave, I felt really, oh my God, I cannot do this. It's a bit hard to go up with one of your best friends, which is Dave.
Mhm.
So I was really hoping for the best results in the second chance challenge. So that could be me, either me winning, the best case scenario, of course, and then other or Dave winning, because I really didn't want to go up with him because it would put the OGs in a really hard situation. So yeah.
So your confidence level grew a little bit when Dave won because I guess it's you and Sam, but not enough votes though.
That's right. It was so close. It was just one vote difference. So this is the frustrating part, one vote difference. Oh my God. It was, yeah, full on. Just I thought I could do it. Like I knew that would be really tight as it was. It would be a matter of one vote.
Mm.
But yeah, I guess I was blindsided.
Well, yeah, I guess you were. But you were talking then just about your friend Dave. A lot of the housemates that have been evicted have been telling me you just don't see these connections on television. I mean, I wouldn't have known that you had a good connection there with Dave. Were there other people that you had a strong connection with?
Ah, yes, for sure. I mean, most when the OGs adopted me, I was really close with them. I was really close to them, which is unfortunate that the public doesn't see. So that's why they see me as a floater. I was mostly with them. And yeah, so I had a big connection with Reggie and Estelle and Dave. I was always chatting with Tim as well. So I feel like it's a shame that the public doesn't get to see that part. The public only gets to see the strategic chats and the actual challenges, but none of our relationships in the house. That's why they get confused as well. And I also had with the newbies, I had Taraz and Lara as my best friends on the other side because I came into the house with them. So that is a bond, there is a special bond that we hold when we get into the house together, I guess. And
Mm.
yes, they were like my neighbors in bed, in bed. Yeah.
So let's get this straight. It was always perceived that you were a floater, but you weren't. You were actually in part of the OG alliance.
Yes, absolutely. I can see that how the public can see me as a floater because every time they show me I'm looking confused. I don't know, I don't want to declare who I'm working with. And Gabby and myself, we were seen as floaters because we were newbies, which later on had a connection with OGs, especially myself, that I was adopted by them when
Mm.
after they saved me. So to me, it was always a touchy subject, the floater situation, because although I was working with the OGs, there were people like Lara and Taras. Like I said, I could not nominate because they were from newbies and they were my best friends from there. And like we came in the house together and we were pretty close. But Tim was really trying to cut my ties with Lara. And he was like, okay, let's vote for Lara. I said, no, I can't vote for Lara. And then he put me up for eviction to
Ah.
scare me. And then he saved me. So yeah, it was quite difficult to manage the whole friendship from both sides.
Well, because there was a perception, I guess, that you were floating, it seemed to be that you were under a lot of pressure because they had these two alliances, then everyone was trying to get you as that one extra vote. I mean, there was a couple of other people that people thought were
Mhm.
floaters as well, but people were putting a lot of pressure on you because they just wanted that one extra vote.
That's right. So they realized, you even here, it's really interesting that some people say, in the on day two, saying, "Oh, Lulu is not going to change anything," like whatever, I don't need her. But then they realize that more OGs come, and you really do
Mm.
need my vote. If you're a newbie, you really needed my vote. And I did change the game. Like I did put, I did help to put Joe for eviction, and Joe was a challenge beast.
Mm.
So yes, I was working with the OGs, and it made it hard for people to see that I was working with them, because none of my votes was shown ever.
Ah.
So only the people that were actually not lazy and were actually were on 7 Plus to check the extended votes could actually see that I was working with the OGs. I dare to say that I probably worked with the OGs more than Dave was than Dave was working. So yeah, definitely. I just didn't want to declare publicly from the beginning that I was working with them, perhaps because I was scared. I was really scared, to be honest with you. Like I was telling Tim, just leave. There is a time when he's threatening me, him and Reggie in the room, and I tell him, just leave with me, trust me, I'm working with you, because I just didn't want to talk about it anymore, because I could see Joe walking down the corridor. And I'm like, I don't want to discuss this now because that will put a target on my back. So
Mm.
Tim pretty much pushed me to say, hey, I'm working like to publicly talk about it, like, hey, I'm working with the OGs. But I did not want to do that in the beginning because yes, I was threatened by both sides. So it was not a good position to be in.
So all of that pressure and you feeling scared, I mean, do you feel the viewers got to see the real you?
Absolutely not.
Ah.
Like if you can probably see the difference in my video if you see my if have you seen my backstory?
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, so I'm fun. Like my friends were like, "Oh my god, like you seem really pressured, you seem really scared, like you're not the Lulu that I know."
Mm.
None of my friends were like people were actually really worried for me because they thought how pressured and stressed I was there because I was not myself. And I felt like I could not be myself because, I came into the house like day two. I was feeling really good. Like day one, you could see me as well, like my high levels of energy because that's me. But
Mm.
then this happened. They tried to vote me out, and they were really like, "Yep, no." They didn't all want to talk to me. That you could see, you saw probably like 5 minutes of them ignoring me. This actually went for the whole time, and it was awful. Like coming from the challenge and having those people, like we only have a scramble. It's only half an hour. We have half an hour to talk to all those people. You know
Mm.
so it was really a struggle for me to see that, yeah, people have their minds made up and
Yeah.
they don't want to talk to me. So they did not want to. I made eye contact with them all the time. And it still breaks my heart, to be honest. Like, it's really triggering for me to see that scene because it's like, I know how I felt then. And
Mm.
for me, it's like, oh my God, I never saw myself this low, like in my life, like just feeling like I'm so alone. Like, I'm
Oh wow.
really and Big Brother was one of my one of the biggest dreams in my life. Like I always watch Big Brother Brazil,
Mm.
and I always wanted to be in the show. And then when I go to it, this happens, and I remember talking to Big Brother, and I'm just crying. I couldn't even talk. I'm like, I can't. I'm just in tears because I felt so alone. And like when you have a bad day, if something happens in your life and you have, a bad day or
Mm.
something, you can always go home. You have your safety. You have your friends. You can chat with your friend. You can listen to music. You can do whatever makes you happier. But in
Mm.
that pressured environment, when every single person in the house is ignoring me because at that time there was just a newbies, right? So it was really tough. Hey, it was tougher than people would imagine. So yeah.
It does seem a shame that we didn't get to see the real you because I remember reading your bio, and it says that you're 5 foot feisty Latino, whom the term short and sweet does not apply. And then it goes on to say that you're lovable, but careful crossing her. I mean,
That's
we
right.
just saw the lovable you, I guess, and we didn't get to see the full Lulu.
That's right. So I felt like in the house because, in this edited version, it's really tough to be yourself because you need to be tiptoeing around everyone because
Mm.
you never know whatever I said in the house. I truly felt like, I hate being, I don't like being make myself a victim in any way, but I really felt like, I was tiptoeing around people all the time.
Mm.
And because I have a different background to them, I felt like, oh, whatever I say, it can be taken in a different way that I don't mean it. So, although yes, I am fiery, but I'm really loving, like I'm really
Mm.
friendly person. But I just felt like, okay, if I stand up for myself, if I say, guys, like there is a time when we're doing the dancing challenge and Dave goes to have a shower and they show that on TV. And I'm like, we're all working so hard for the money because it's a lot of us and the food is really limited.
Mhm.
So we are working hard. And then David goes to have a shower. And I'm like, come on, people are in the pool, people are doing, and I'm like always on it. I'm like, okay, let's watch the TV because that's where the screen tells us where to go.
Mm.
So I was always around there because I could see quickly where to go, pool, corridor, whatever. So I could see where to go to dance. So I was
Mm.
like, come on, Dave, but when I said that sometimes, for example, people would be mad at me. They'll be like, oh, we don't need to talk like that. But if somebody else say the same thing, so there are a lot of double standards in the house.
Mm.
And even like, unfortunately, this again is not shown, but one of the eviction ceremonies, Sonia talks about it. But it was cut, so it's like,
Mm.
yeah, there were double standards. I felt like some people were treated different than the others. And yes, I was like, always, I thought, if I want to be in this game, I can't be myself, because if they see the strong Lulu that I am, they'll try
Mm.
to kick me out again, like in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Can you think of an example where you thought some people were treated differently to others? Like, I'm just trying to understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah, sure. So, for example, people would complain for different reasons. So everybody would complain about something different. For example, Dave would be his coffee, and you
Mm.
got to see that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Dave was always like, he was mad about his coffee, and I understand that because I love coffee as well. So I would complain about the mess. Like for me, like I'm really like, I just don't like mess. I just don't like dirty places. So
Mm.
the bathroom, for example, was a mess, and nobody gets to see. Like it's really funny because yesterday actually I saw a comment from somebody on Instagram saying, why is Lulu even there? She seems like all she does is lounge around the house. She doesn't contribute in any way. And I'm like, oh wow. And I was thinking to myself, okay, I don't answer to any of that, but it's like, do you know that I thought to myself, do you know that I actually was the one that cleans the house the most? Do you
Mm.
really know that I was the one that cleaned the bathroom all the time because nobody bothered, because people too busy in the pool? You know what I mean?
Mm.
But if I complained about the mess, I would be like the bad Lulu. But if
Mm.
somebody else complained about something else, like that was normal, because oh, the poor things, they're complaining because they have a reason. But whenever I complained, it was a different weight to whatever I
Mm.
said in the house was a different weight.
Mm.
So yes, I've really felt this way. Like, and Lara, not Lara, Layla actually mentioned that the environment, like in an interview, she mentioned the environment that was like when she arrived, she didn't feel welcome. She didn't
Oh,
feel welcome, and yeah, because there was a clear division in the house between
yeah.
the OGs and the newbies. And I agree with her. I felt the same way.
Mm.
And although I was a newbie that was adopted by the OG, so I was in a weird situation. The newbies wanted me when they needed me for votes. They would try to get closer to me,
Mm.
but it wasn't always the case. If I wasn't talking stretch with them, that was a completely different case.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's how it was, unfortunately.
Well, that, of course, wasn't the only sort of drama in the house. There was Tim and Sam and Tim and Dave, then Tully, Drew, Sam. I
Yep.
mean, what's the plan there with you? I mean, do you get involved or stay out? Or sometimes it looks like it's hard to stay out.
Oh yeah, sometimes it is hard to stay out, but to be honest with you, like with all the drama that I was going through, I could not deal with anyone else's drama. I was like, get me out of here, like I really don't want to, like I try to not to be involved as much as I could because I was dealing already with a lot of stuff on my own. So I
Mm.
really try to stay away from it, to be honest.
Well, one of the things that I think the audience felt a little bit cheated was about Sam's eviction, and then it was a
Mm.
sort of a party surprise at the end. She pulled that thing, and the eviction got cancelled. Were the housemates just as, did they feel as cheated as the audience?
Absolutely.
Ah, really?
Absolutely. Because, there was so much drama. Like after the cage, oh my God, so much happened. And everybody was like, okay, no worries. And this happened. And then she came back. And then honestly, all you could hear is like, why, why? And then she came back and then she wanted she wanted to confront people about who voted her out.
Mm,
And it's like, it's why are you asking that? Like you should ask not who voted you out, but why people are voting you out. Like
yeah,
just try to understand why people are voting you out. Like you were
absolutely.
spending a lot of time with your partner, and you're not really talking to anybody. So what do you have to contribute in the house? So that
Mm,
was the issue. And also by then I was just being like fully myself. Like I was just coming out of my shell finally. So I
mm,
just felt like, okay, I can get enjoy. I can relax a little bit. So
mm,
I can actually. I was talking to most housemates then. Both sides.
mm,
And then I was creating my connections, like stronger connections with people. And then she came back, and I was like, yeah. So yeah, nothing changed. Nothing changed. She came back, and nothing changed,
mm.
and she goes to eviction again. And the first thing she does is what? Ask people who voted for me. And I'm like, really? Does that matter? Like, you didn't learn the lesson. There is
Yeah.
a reason why people keep voting you out. But anyway, so yeah, it is what it is.
I guess we'll see if she's got 9 lives. Yeah, as the weeks
Yes,
progress, we'll see. So
that's right.
the good old hindsight game now. I mean, you've learnt a lot. You've been talking a lot about strategy and the drama in the house. I mean, knowing what you know now, what would you have played the game differently if you had a do over?
Yes, I would play the game differently. Like I would probably not trust I always trust my gut, but there are times that you just really gotta have a leap of faith because you don't have the numbers. And some people that really thought that told you that they got your back, although
Mm,
they don't work on the same side as you. For example, JC, I really regret helping him out. I really regret having that because they're not the thing is, but people don't really see these conversations on the background, which is a shame because
mm,
there was a lot of backstabbing. Like when I told Tim I cannot vote for JC and Lara, is because Lara was my friend, and JC, I just came back from a challenge with him, and we had 30 minutes to scramble, and I go to him and say, look in his eyes and say, hey, I'm not voting you. Do you have my back? He said, yep. And guess what he does? And he votes me out. He puts me in the fire line again. So it's
mm,
like, I really regret trusting people um, from the newbie side because
mm,
they were playing against me. And also, yeah, I don't think like I regret working with the OGs. I probably
mm,
regret not just being afraid because but again, like how can you, it's really hard when you're in that situation because I could publicly speak and say, hey, I'm working with OGs, don't try to, because I look like a floater when I wasn't.
mm.
I was just secretly working with them, but it also would put a target on my back, so you never know.
Well, let's talk about someone that also was probably, well, is not being upfront, and that's the new intruder, Brenton. If you watch
Hmm.
the episodes, it actually looks like, from the audience point of view, that you're all falling for it. With him playing dumb and pretending, oh, is this Big Brother? I thought it was on Survivor, sort of
Not
thing.
me.
Yeah, so not you?
Not me, definitely not me. Brenton didn't, I didn't fall for his BS in any way at all. Like he was, as soon as he came in, he was like, oh, just showing that he was so oblivious of everything that is happening. Trust me, I did not fall for any of that. I'm like, surely no Big Brother. Surely you've seen Big Brother. Like, surely, not even if you don't like it, if you never watched in your life, you
Mm,
still know what it is. You still know
mm.
the show that it is. So yes, I was like, nah, mate, you're really young. You should know Big Brother. You know what's going on here, and you're not fooling me. You're trying to make out to be like this stupid guy, but nah, I can see through your bullshit.
Let's have a quick game of choose a housemate, Lulu.
Okay.
Who's the most genuine?
The most genuine is definitely Estelle.
Mm.
Yeah, hands down Estelle.
Well, there you go. That's the first one we had for Estelle. Yeah, it's interesting.
The
Um,
first one, wow, that's surprising to me. She's really genuine.
yeah, I mean, generally we've had Reggie and Taras and now Estelle. So there's a few people that people think are genuine. What about the most non genuine? I guess they could be lying to your face.
Okay, non-genuine, I've gotta say Drew,
Oh.
because Drew was really like, he was really lovely in front of me, but behind my back, I heard that he was just not nice. So
Um,
it's like, yeah, which is a shame because like I thought I thought we had a good friendship going, like not like we got along well. That's how I saw him. That's
mm.
how I perceived him. But yeah, apparently not. Apparently he was just begging me behind my back.
Well, who's some of your favourites? Ones that you'd like to have over for a barbecue and get to know more.
Definitely the OGs. Like I really like Trevor. I like Estelle, of course. Estelle is one of my amigas there, and I would Reggie, Tim, Dave, still. I forgive you, Dave, for all the craziness that you've done. Yeah, all the OGs, like mostly the OGs, I would have in my house. Definitely Taraz and Lara and Gabby for sure.
What about the newbie housemate that you think could go the furthest?
Okay, so the newbie housemate, I believe you can go the furthest, is Johnson.
Oh.
Johnson is very strategic. And like the way he thinks about the game, he's like the biggest Big Brother fan in the house.
Hmm.
Me and him were the biggest Big Brother fans. And he plays really strategic. He is there, like he has the game all figured out,
Hmm.
So I really think he could go further. And also Taraz, like Taraz, he looks like this quirky, friendly guy, but he's actually really strong as well. So I really feel like he could go far. Yeah.
And what about who would you like to win Big Brother?
Oh, definitely Reggie. I would love to see Reggie going further and heading the final line. I really would love to see her up there. And I really hope she wins because she's so deserving. She's so deserving of the prize. And yeah, I really think she deserves the prize. And she's such a strong woman. Like she
Hmm.
gave 100% of herself in challenges, although she had the limitations, the eyesight limitations, but like she's amazing. She's a powerhouse.
You mentioned earlier in the interview about Big Brother in Brazil because that's where you grew up. How is
Yeah.
that different to the Australian version? Is it different?
Oh, so different. Big Brother Brazil is still live, so it's a big hit. Like Brazilians love reality show, and Big Brother is the biggest reality show. And oh my God, the parties, like they have 2 or 3 parties every week. All you can drink parties. It's insane. Like Australians cannot have this because Australians are not ready for this kind of thing, I guess. It's really crazy. Like it's wild. They have live bands and they
Mm,
have like famous live bands playing in the house for the Big Brothers, for the housemates. So it's insane. Like it's really another level. The price is $500,000 which it's definitely life changing for a Brazilian.
yeah.
Plus, when you live there, even if you don't win, you're set because you live with a lot of brands wanted to work with you. So some people make like 10 million reais in like in the first week they leave the house.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's just nuts. Like it's crazy. And also like I like the format because the public can see what's going on. So
Mm.
if people have been targeted um unfairly, the public is always on them. You know, the public is always saving them. So it's really the format makes it fair for
Mm.
people because when you are, you know, when you are in this editing format, there is not much of accountability towards the housemates. People
Yeah.
could be nasty, people could be saying, you know, horrible things about each other, but at the end of the day, you probably won't see it at all, you know, like you don't see anything, most of it. So yeah, it's really tough. But yeah, that's why I prefer the live format.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, that'd be great for 7 Plus. We can see Big Brother Brazil. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that would be great for Big Brother Australia as well to be live again. I think the fans would love.
Yeah, obviously with COVID, they haven't done that, but yeah, you never know in the future. Next season, see how we go. But what's next for you, Lulu, after Big Brother?
Okay, so what's next? So right now I'm having a break from work. I'm taking sabbatical. I'm just gonna have a mental, you know, mental relaxing holiday. Perhaps going to Japan with my husband. It's something
Wow.
that we wanted to do for a while now, and I think, yeah, hopefully this COVID situation, you know, it gets a little bit better. And then, yeah, we're heading to Japan. And then let's see what happens. You know, I'm open for opportunities that are like good for me, that are growth opportunities. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go back to community services again. I'm pretty sure I love community services. That's my area. That I love helping people, especially the disadvantaged people. So I'll probably go back to it. But again, I'm open for any opportunities that would mean growth to me.
What about a spot in The Bold and the Beautiful? Don't you want to be in a soap opera?
Oh my God, I would love that. Honestly,
You'd be
I would love
awesome.
that. I would love that. Honestly, Channel 7, hit me up, or you know, we are here. I'm happy to talk to you about it. I would love to star in a soap opera. Like,
Mm.
did some extras in Brazil back in the day, a long time ago. I used to do some extras on TV.
Mm.
Yeah, it would be a great opportunity. I would love that. It would be fun.
Well, Lulu, you have lots of energy, lots of fun, a great utility player in the house. And I think this podcast, I mean, in the show that you didn't get to see all of you, but with this podcast, hopefully we saw a little bit more about you. So that's really good. Hope to see you at the finale. And thank you for joining me tonight.
That's great, Aaron. It was lovely talking to you, and I really hope we can get to meet on the finale.
Yeah, that'd be great. That was Lulu, seventh evicted from Big Brother 2022. That's it for tonight. Thank you for listening. I'm Aaron Ryan. I'll be back with the eighth eviction very soon. Good night.